Center field. Deep. Leaping, and did he catch it? He did! Nate Bach just stole a home run from Adonis Guzman. Phenomenal catch by the Utah Valley center fielder.
Coming up on the WAC Podcast, we're back. It's the summer edition of the WAC Podcast. We're sending 8 student athletes and 2 relay teams to the NCAA Track and Field Championships in Eugene, Oregon. Plus, we'll talk to the superstar Victoria Cameron, who broke an Olympian's record. All that and more on the WAC Podcast.
Oh my goodness, that was quick.
Welcome back to the WAC Podcast. I know it's been a minute, but it is back. I'm Kendra Sheehan, and we are so excited to bring you a ton of summer content, and starting here with some of our fantastic student athletes that have punched their ticket to the NCAA Track and Field Championships in Eugene, Oregon. It was a tremendous weekend. 8 individual student athletes and 2 relay teams from WAC schools have punched their ticket to nationals. So we'll go through some of them because it's been so much fun to watch these student athletes excel at the indoor championships, the outdoor championships that we put on, and now they have their chance on the national stage. So Wednesday, June 11th, it's the men's 4x100 meter relay semifinal, and that features Utah Valley. You got Gavin Stafford, Cameron Franklin, Cade Thompson, Gabe Remy, and Gunnar Stepp are the ones who would be competing in that one. They ran a 39.13. That same day, it's Lokesh Sayapian from Tarleton State in the men's long jump. The 400-meter hurdles will feature Cameron Willington from Grand Canyon. Tarleton State also represented in that 4x100 meter semifinal, and that features Hannah Dudley, Lauren Roy, Amandine Estival, Victoria Cameron, and Pristina Ochagnagor. And Victoria Cameron, we'll plug her now because we will speak to her in just a bit. She just won the 100 at the WAC Outdoor Track and Field Championships and the 200, and she's been a superstar all season, so stick around for that interview. On Thursday, it's the javelin final, and it's Kelsey Oldroyd from Utah Valley. Victoria Cameron will also compete that same day. That's Thursday, June 12th, and that's in the 100-meter. Pristina Ochagnagor from Tarleton State in the women's long jump final. Sir Jonathan Sims from the Texans is in the men's triple jump. Valentine Soka from California Baptist is in the men's 5,000. And Elijah Hughes from Southern Utah is in the women's high jump. So best of luck to all of our athletes competing in Eugene, Oregon. We're wishing them tremendous success for all the hard work they put in this season. And speaking of Eugene, Oregon, we had a WAC school punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. That was Utah Valley. They headed to Eugene, Oregon for their regional, and they took down the Ducks in their first game. This was the Wolverines' first ever berth to the NCAA tournament under head coach Nate Rasmussen, and they win 6-5. And then unfortunately, they fell to Arizona and Cal Poly, but they made it to the NCAA tournament, and then they won their first game, and rightfully so. Nate Rasmussen, who is at his first year at the helm of the program, gets his contract extension to 2029. So very excited to see where that program goes. And other championships, we have a former WAC basketball player playing in the NBA Finals. It was Pascal Siakam, if you know your WAC trivia. He's fresh off being named Eastern Conference Finals MVP. They'll be playing against Oklahoma City in the finals, so be sure to tune in to see a former WAC player ball out on the big stage. Coming up next, though, it's Victoria Cameron, our superstar from Texas, looking to make her mark on the national stage. Stay with us.
Against that middle lane with Victoria Cameron. See if she could come out strong, and she does. Cameron, no one close to her. She'll take first place and take the championship in the 100-meter dash.
Welcome back to the WAC Podcast. Kendra Sheehan, now joined by Victoria Cameron of Tarleton State Track and Field. And Victoria, my goodness, you had a fantastic weekend. You punched your ticket to the NCAA championships in Eugene, Oregon. So first, take me through the emotions of this past weekend as you get to go to the NCAA tournament and represent Tarleton State, a campus where you were born and raised as a Stephenville native.
Oh gosh, it's like I feel more blessed than what I should be right now. I kind of came in feeling super duper nervous. So I had no idea what to really expect, but as soon as I'm on the starting line, I just feel like an overwhelming feeling of just calm and just locked in. And then as soon as, especially the 4x1, I saw that we got cued in, like an overwhelming emotions of excitement just filled me, but I was sitting on the floor and I couldn't get up. So I was super excited though.
And I mean, during that meet, you ran 3 races in under 3 hours. How do you prepare for that type of energy to be expelled and to be able to run as fast as you did repeatedly in that short amount of time?
I definitely had to block out all of the mental battles because the thought of when you do run a race and then you have to prepare for another one in less than an hour, it's definitely mentally struggling, especially when your body is tired. So you just have to block it all out and kind of hype yourself up to prepare yourself for the next race.
So we'll start with the 100 because you broke Chelsea Hayes's record, and that was set by a former Olympian. You run 11:01. What were the emotions as you were able to prepare for that race? And then when you cross the finish line, you look over at that time and it says 11:01.
I was definitely nervous. If you asked my coach before I ran that, he would probably tell you that I wasn't as mentally prepared as I should have during warm up. But as soon as I started walking to the line, I just get the overwhelming feeling of just prepared to run. And during the race, I stayed extremely patient because I obviously started off in the back and built myself way up to the front. And so I was actually extremely excited to see the clock at the end because nothing feels better than a PR, honestly.
100%. And yeah, when you're going through that race and you see it's only 100 meters, so it's pretty short, and you start kind of behind, you're slower off the blocks initially, and then you just power through. How do you build momentum as you continue that last 50, 60, 70 right before the finish line?
I definitely try to have an extremely long drive phase since you can only hold top speed for so long. And I figured out over running the 100 and running the 60 the past year that I run better when I have extremely long drive phases. And at the very end, I kind of knew it was going to be close, and I've never really attempted a lean in my life. But that race, I decided maybe I should attempt a lean. And looking back at the video, it definitely did make the difference between 11:02 and 11:01.
And to get under 11 at nationals, what is that going to take? What do you need to do to get under that bar?
I definitely need to just stay healthy, stay mentally prepared, not change much of what I'm doing, maybe except my block starts just a little bit. But I believe maybe just those 3 things is what I'm going to need to prepare myself.
And then you look at the 200. This year, you've ran the 200 3 times, and 2 of them were at the WAC championship in the prelims and the championship, and you win it. So what goes into preparing for a 200 versus the 100, and what makes you so successful in being able to do both of those?
200 is definitely more mental than the 100. So that's a real mental battle for me to be able to do those back to back. But definitely at the WAC championship, what helped me was being able to have one of my teammates kind of with me on the line. I don't know, something about it just makes me feel better about myself. That was probably it was the best 200 I've ever ran. And I have I don't know. It's just having my friends there, honestly.
Always have the support of your teammates. And of course, a
Mhm.
4x100, that has to be a blast in terms of just
Mhm.
getting to share that with your team. How excited are you guys to have the four of you up in Eugene together and then competing and fighting for a top spot in that race?
I'm actually so excited because back in indoor, I felt a little lonely. I did have a friend there, but it's not the same as having the girls that you practice with every single day for the past, I don't know, like 7 months. So I'm so excited for that, and I'm very happy for them as well.
And so initially, you're from Stephenville, going to
Mhm.
Tarleton State. Was that the goal all along, or was it the relationship with Bobby Carter? I know he just came on this past year, but what made you want to go to Tarleton State and stay in Stephenville?
Originally, I was just gonna play soccer, so that's why I ended up going to Tarleton, and it was gonna be much better for me and my family. Just be able to live at home so I didn't have to pay for all the housing and everything. And I actually joined the track team the last month of summer because I kind of realized I just couldn't give it up. And we did have a rough first year on the track team. I did because of injury, and then we all did because there was so much coaching changing going on. The coach I was originally going to run under wasn't there when I finally came to the track team, and then the second coach that I was under wasn't coming back, so I just kind of stayed there and trusted what God had in store for me.
And now that Coach Carter is there and you have several other Texans joining you in Eugene this
Mm-hmm.
year, what has that relationship been like in terms of the way that he's able to help push you to be the best version of yourself?
Oh, I absolutely love my coaches so, so much. I don't think I've ever been on a team where they look at me as a person rather as someone who can just run fast. Everyone on the team is just such great friends. We all joke together. And honestly, I think that relationship of what he builds with us and his other athletes for his event is what helps us be able to have the confidence to perform on the track and the confidence to do our best. And that's why I also believe that there's so many of us going to Oregon in our first year of eligibility.
And you initially said you wanted to go to Tarleton State to play soccer. And I know the two are similar in a
Mm-hmm.
way, but how do you feel like your soccer skills have kind of translated to track just in terms of the conditioning and how did that make you a better track athlete?
Definitely because soccer season starts in July, and that is the hottest part of the year. And I play soccer the entire part of the year where it's just super hot. And so I'm kind of able to acclimate better and to condition a little better. It's just a little harder playing soccer, I would say, because of all the contact and there's way more running. But definitely just because of those reasons, because we train in the hottest parts of the year and the hottest parts of the day.
And how did you initially get into running? Where did that passion start?
It definitely started when my parents made me. When I was I was originally just gonna play soccer my entire life. And one year they decided that I should run club track. And then I ran club track and then I decided to do it in junior high. And out of junior high, I got invited to a club to run and I ran AAU and so on from high school to college. Yes, ma'am.
And then it just kept going from there. My sister
It did.
used to run track and cross country, and it always blew my mind because she's like, I just love to get outside and run. Is that kind
Mhm.
of what you feel like with this sport is just the opportunity to be outdoors and push your body to a limit that a lot of sports don't necessarily get that?
Definitely when training, it's hard to mentally prepare myself like that. But once it's up to competition, it's definitely I'm able to get in a better mental state to want to be able to push further and further. But training, it's a little harder to mentally prepare.
And looking ahead to Eugene, will your family be able to be in attendance cheering you on? Will they be making the flight?
I'll be having my mom, dad, one of my sisters, and my godmother being in attendance. So that'll be really fun, honestly. I'm super excited for them to come and watch me run.
Well, Victoria, we're wishing you the very best in Eugene. Thank you so much for the time. You can check our WAC Sports social for all the times and events that she'll be running and up to date with live stats and race updates. Victoria, it's fantastic chatting with you. And once again, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you so much for listening to the WAC Podcast.